Hello, online crew. We are live. How's everyone going? So today we're going to talk about some things, some habits that you might have that may be holding you back. They may be killing your dreams that you desire to achieve. So what we want to work out today on today's live is, do you have these three main habits? And if you do, how do we break them? Because if you have them, they're going to hinder your ability to succeed. So we'll see if you've got these things in a moment. But how's everyone doing? I hope you had an amazing weekend. This is my first live video of the week, which means that I talk about something to do with personal growth, personal development, something to make you think, something to help you be a better version of yourself. So if we've not met before, my name is Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain, and I am here of service to our amazing online crew community here. So we are entrepreneurs, home-based business owners, direct sellers, those in MLM, network marketing, and we want to bring your business online and leverage the internet with modern social media strategies to help attract people to you so you can get more leads and more sales for your business. Does that sound good, guys? So I go live 5 days a week at exactly the same time. Unless occasionally there's something going on that I need to change that, but generally 5 days a week at the exact time. But at the beginning of the week, like I just mentioned, I will talk about something to do with personal growth, personal development, rather than like strictly social media. Because if you don't have it going on up here, it is very difficult for you to grow and, create an amazing business online. Because things like lack of self-belief and, that little voice in your head that tells you certain things, that can definitely hold you back. So who do we have here with us today? We've got Edith on. Hello, how are you? We've got Heather. Hello, Helen Martin, Henry, and all the crew. If you're unaware, this is our little mate Henry over here. Henry's my little messenger bot when I have him plugged in. I haven't had him plugged in for a while, but that's Henry over there. Heather's got the emojis going on. So the fish is if you are in my free group. So I'm broadcasting on my business page and in the free group at the same time. So the free group is called Social Media Strategies for Home Business Owners. Anybody is welcome in that group. Just find it on Facebook and request to join. And so the fish is the emoji for that group. The palm tree is our general emoji for our community here. The cruise ship is the emoji for those in my online crew coaching community. Where are you guys? Give me the cruise ship emoji. And the anchor is the emoji if for those people that are life members of my online crew coaching community. So just one fee and they're stuck with me for life. So all the training that I provide on a monthly basis is all included for life. Hello, Lynn. Good to see you on. We've got Olive. Olive is also a life member of our coaching community. Joyce, and you are doing good. Good to see you on, Joyce. Hello, good morning, Tammy. It's morning in her part of the world. Laurie, waiting for a flight home. How was the trip, Laurie? Did you have a lovely time on your cruise? Catching you live for the first time in days. I've missed you too. I've missed your name popping up, but I hope you had an amazing trip and you feel relaxed and refreshed and you got lots of sunshine. Hello, Shauna. Good to see you on. We've got Amanda and Tanya. Sean is in the house. How are you, Sean? I hope you're doing really well. Hello to Henry there. We've got Jade. Hi. Oh, I get to put down an emoji. You do. Jade is a newer member to our online crew coaching community, so she gets to put the cruise ship down. Because one day, guys, we are getting on this. Are we not? We're getting on a cruise ship like this, and I'm drinking margaritas. I don't know what you guys are drinking, but margaritas is my weapon of choice. So let me know, if we were hanging around a bar on a cruise ship, what would be your beverage of choice? I want to know. Hello, Charlene. Good to see you on. We've got Renee as well. Sandy, using my laptop, only have faces emojis. Oh, do you? Okay. Hi, Patricia. How are you? Yes, the SS Martin 2020. We need to try to make it happen this year, I think. Hey, Abby. How are you? Abby is also a new member to our coaching community. So, yeah, and she's got the life member as well. New life member, which is pretty cool. Cruise, yes, G&Ts. G&Ts is my go-to as well when I'm not drinking margaritas, or I don't mind a little Captain Morgan and dry, something like that. Hi, Joy. How are you? I like Bellinis. Ooh, a good one, Edith. Hello, Emma. How are you? It was amazing. Ready to go home, though. Time to get back into the groove. Wish you had gone with me. Oh, no joke. I would have loved to have gone. High five, Mike. How are you? We've got Benessa on as well. I think I'm pronouncing that. I might have got that slightly wrong. Whiskey on. Oh, straight to the hard stuff, Sean. Love it. I'm looking forward to cruise ship. Love pina coladas. Yeah, good choice. Good choice. Nice to see you too, Janice. We've got oh, there's two for the same. Margarita and mojito. Oh, absolutely. Kombucha for me. Oh, Joy. I'm making my own homemade kombucha. I'm on my third batch and I'm so proud of myself, and the SCOBY's really healthy and it's amazing. If you don't know what kombucha is, look it up. It's really good for your gut and your health and stuff like that. But I'm loving making the homemade stuff. It is a bit of a process and takes a bit of a time, but I'm loving it. Laurie's found out she's a rum lover. You've only just found that out, Laurie, at this stage in your life? All the above sounds great. Heather's in for anything. Okay, so let's get on to the content for today. So today is about habits. What bad habits do you possess that may be holding you back? And these three are commonly spoken about by gurus in the self-development world, like, Mel Robbins and Tony Robbins and people like that. And these three keep coming up continually. So let's assess this to see whether you guys fall into these traps. The very first one is procrastination. How many of you procrastinate doing the things that you know you should do, that's on your to-do list for the day or the week, and there's just something that you're just not getting around to, or you're maybe unintentionally avoiding it? Like if you're at home, you're doing the washing, or you're scrolling Facebook, or you're not doing the things that you know you need to do, so you procrastinate. Now, here's the thing with procrastination. One, it doesn't serve you well. It only holds you back and stops you getting to your goal, quicker, obviously. But procrastination, just listen to this for a sec. Procrastination is generally not about the specific thing that you are procrastinating about. Procrastination is a form of stress relief. It's your response to a habit of avoiding something. So if you procrastinate on one thing in your life, chances are you're probably a procrastinator in quite a few things in your life. Would that be a correct assumption, guys? Like, have you only ever procrastinated in your life about one thing? Or would you say that you procrastinate on a few things? So if you take that for what it is, procrastination is generally not about the actual thing. If you're a procrastinator, you generally procrastinate about more than one thing, which means it's not about the actual things. It's about the habit of avoiding something. So it's a stress response, basically. So what do you do about it? How do you not procrastinate? How do you not put off the things that you know you need to do, but you just do everything but the thing that you know you need to do? So here's some advice that I heard from Mel Robbins on this one, on procrastination. Is knowing that it's a stress response, we've got to bring it to the forefront of your mind for starters. So if you know you're avoiding something, straight away let that trigger you to think, what am I stressed about? Okay, not, what's the actual sort of physical thing? What am I stressed about? Procrastination is a form of stress, sort of relief, if you like. So ask yourself, what are you stressed about? Like, actually bring it to the forefront of your mind. Like, it's the, what do they call it? The prefrontal cortex. So you got to awaken your prefrontal cortex of your brain and bring it to the surface. What is it that you are stressed about? And take one step. Okay, just take one step towards whatever it is that you are procrastinating about. Now, apparently, statistically, research shows this. If you just make that one step, when you're aware of what it is you're procrastinating about, ask yourself, what am I stressed about? What's worrying me? What is it that I'm sort of not doing? Get really defined and specific and take an action here and now in the moment, like now, not say I'll do it next week or I'll do it tomorrow. Like, take one baby step now in the moment. Then 80% of you will keep on going and achieve whatever it is that you've been procrastinating about. So the steps around that, is when you know you're doing it. Like you think to yourself, oh, I'm procrastinating again. I'm not doing the things, or man, I was meant to do that last week or yesterday or something like that, and it still hasn't been done. Bring it to the front of your mind. Ask yourself, what am I stressing about? What is it that I'm not doing? And take one little step towards what it is that you're not doing. And statistically, 80% of you will end up doing the thing that you've been procrastinating about if you just make that one step. Most people don't even make the one step. So if you don't make the one step, you'll hold yourself back for weeks, maybe even months. There's been something you wanted to do and you still haven't done it. You're still procrastinating about something you wanted to do, or somebody you wanted to talk to, or an action that you wanted to take, or something you wanted to purchase, or something like that. You'll sit on that for weeks or months unless you take that first step forward. Okay, sometimes the hardest part is starting. Do you agree with that? Like with lots of things, starting the diet, or going to the gym for the first time, or, starting the program that you wanted to, or, training, or, something like that. The hardest part sometimes is taking that first step. But once you make that first step, then you've got more chance of actually succeeding. Okay, so just remember that. So procrastination is the number one killer. The second thing, I'm recovering in this. There's still elements that I don't think will ever go away for me with this, and that's striving for perfectionism. How many of you want all your ducks in a row before you do something? How many of you want to research something more to make sure you're making the right decision? How many of you are waiting for the right time to do something? Like for some of you, it may be doing live video. Oh, it's just not the right time. Or I don't have time for that yet, or I don't have the money for that yet. I'll just wait until I've done this before I can do that. Or, I'll wait till I've got more funds, or I'll wait till I've finished that before I can do that. Like you want everything to have its little place before you do certain things. If you strive for perfection, it's only going to hold you back. The best thing we can ever do, especially with building a business online, because there are so many moving parts, it changes all the time. So just when you think you've got it right, something will change and you'll have to change what you're doing anyway. Fail forward, guys. Just step into the ring and do whatever it is that's scaring you. And stop waiting for all your ducks to be in a row before you make a decision to do something. Or you make a decision to jump into something, or change something, or break off a relationship that you've been in unhealthy for ages, or, whatever it is. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect place, the perfect setting, the perfect hair, the perfect, backdrop, whatever it is for you. Perfectionism does not help you learn. The only way you can learn to be better and get better at something is taking the actual action. Perfectionism holds you back from taking actions. But the best way you'll ever move forward and learn is by doing things and making mistakes. So you make a mistake and then you know how to do something better the next time. If you're waiting for everything to be perfect before you do things, you're not even take the action to make the mistake that you can learn from. So perfection is only going to hold yourself back. I'm a big, especially in the corporate world, when I would create documents or PDF documents or folders or resources, things like that, everything would have to have its place. And I remember with staff, I was a pain in the ass as a boss, because I needed to, I'll admit that, my staff would tell me that. I got better over the years, but initially, I would want everything to be perfect. And if it didn't visually look, or if things weren't lined up, or if the paragraph wasn't, or if the image wasn't there, whatever, like if things didn't look perfect, I would ask them to change things. And people told me over and over again about micromanaging. It's like, well, let them stuff it up. That's when they're going to learn. Like you can't tell people what to do all the time. You have to let people learn for themselves. So perfectionism in all areas of your life, as an entrepreneur, or even as a boss, or an employee, or a friend, or a husband, or a wife, like it doesn't matter if the bed's not made properly. Do you know where I'm coming from, guys? Like perfectionism is not a good thing. Okay. And at this end of the day, when you sometimes really evaluate it for what it is, like some of the things that you might stress about, does it really matter? Like if sorry, Harley's snoring. It just threw me for a second. Like if the cutlery is not in the drawer the right way or the bed's not made properly, what does it matter? Perfectionism will only cause you undue stress in so many different areas of your life. So you need to get rid of that, okay? Or try to get rid of that. It doesn't happen overnight. That is something you need to work towards. And certainly coming into the online world, I wanted to learn everything before I did things or create things. And it just doesn't work that way. You've just got to let yourself slip up and make mistakes, because that's how you learn to do it better next time. It's like when I'm on webinars reviewing people's Facebook ads and stuff like that, like somebody might come on to the webinar and they've absolutely stuffed everything up. But I love that, because they're there and we can have a massive discussion about it, and they've learned so much in like 15 minutes about what they should do and shouldn't do, and they've worked out what they're going to do moving forward. Like, unless you just throw yourself out there and do certain things and make mistakes, how do you learn to know how to do it better? So let go of perfectionism, guys, okay? It does not serve you well, and it will only hold you back in growing the business that you are desiring to sort of grow, okay? And the third one, it can actually very much relate to the second one, is waiting. So like perfectionism, you're sort of waiting for everything to be perfect, just waiting generally. So perfectionism, one thing, but just waiting. So, waiting for all those ducks to be in a row, waiting until you do more research, waiting until, everything, you've worked out what to do when or whatever. You're just waiting all the time. You're waiting to make a decision on something because of something else that you're doing. Like you're waiting to have a conversation with somebody. You're waiting to move forward with something. You're waiting to join a program. You're waiting until you've got more money. Like, just do it. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Like number 2 and number 3 are like that, aren't they? Like, just stop waiting for somebody to come to your rescue. Nobody's coming to your rescue. If it is to be, it is up to me. Some of you may have been in this business for weeks, months, or even years, and you may have not achieved the success that you desired. And maybe you're waiting for things that are never going to come. You need to jump in there and make mistakes and let things not be perfect, and, just not procrastinate. Just throw yourself in there, be willing to make the mistakes, and just do it now. Stop waiting for whatever it is that you think you're waiting for to, make choices and decisions that may scare you. And that's generally what it comes down to, is fear. Like, you're fearful of what's on the other side of making a decision. And so you're just sort of hanging in the background waiting for all your ducks to be in a row before you do certain things. So waiting does not serve you well. So we need to get rid of procrastination, we need to get rid of perfection, and we need to get rid of waiting for things to be perfect and procrastinating about, like, the combination of the 3. Who's got all 3? Who is willing to admit on this live or on the replay that you suffer from all 3? And I would imagine that majority of you would have elements of all 3. I certainly do. I certainly, I'm getting better at it, but I think there's lots of things, that you could all sort of relate to, with those things. Would you agree? So, Joy, I'm guilty with that. Too much list on my to-do list. I get it, Joy. I'm a list person. I've got lists everywhere. And I think the danger of that is not prioritizing on your list, so things don't get crossed off on your list, or unless you've got time blocking and planning sort of sorted out, the list just gets longer, not shorter. So lists are awesome to keep yourself organized, but you've got to have a productive list, and just have like 3 priorities for that day and cross them off, so you feel like you're actually achieving things. So it's a managing the list the right way. Guilty of that? Heather, crazy. I just talked about this on my live today. Did you? Edith, interesting. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Procrastination is a thief of time. Correct, Amanda. Great statement. A few things from Sean. No, absolutely trying to break the cycle. And these kind of things are generally habits that we have for years. So you can't expect to get rid of these things overnight, but as long as you're aware of them and you're thinking about them, and when they roll around, it's like, oh, that's really not what I want to do, or I'm procrastinating again, or no, I'm just going to do it. I don't have to wait till everything's perfect. I'm just going to do it. Like, if you can train your brain to be aware of this kind of stuff, you've got more than half a chance of creating new habits. It's all about creating new habits, and you can't create new habits unless you're aware of your bad habits. So if you're aware of your bad habits, you can turn that around and create new habits. Does that make sense to you guys? Absolutely. Trying to break that cycle, Sandy. It's a fairly new habit I've picked up. Yep. Tanya, correct. Learnt this big time from Mel, a few of those things. Hello, Judy and Bob. How are you? Good to see you on. Hello, Monica. All is well. Thank you. Great advice. Shirley, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it anyway. Exactly, Shirley. That's, if you're not aware, that's Mel Robbins' theory. When it's uncomfortable with doing things or you're procrastinating, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it anyway. One step goes a long way. One step will help you succeed. You've just got to take that first step sometimes, and then the other steps will follow. But until you make that first step, nothing happens. Yes, starting is the hardest. Yes, starting your go live in public. Oh, yes, Heather. Have you done that? How did it go? Heather's referring to the video challenge. I've asked them to do some scary things. Once you start, you don't want to stop. And you gain momentum, don't you, Sean? Yes, starting is the hardest. Getting the first step is always the hardest. Eda's putting her hand up. I research too much. That can be a catch. I do too, Joy, because of the position that I'm in and keeping you guys educated and just, wanting to know anything about everything to do with social media and the trends and what's going on. And sometimes you just have to work out what's my priority to move the needle forward. So if your research is something you need to move the needle forward now, go for it. If it's not, then put it lower down the list type thing. Failing forward, absolutely, Heather. Sean is guilty as charged. Perfection gets you nowhere. No, I mean, it's good to strive for things to be well, but not to the point of perfection. Nobody really cares as much as you think they do. Once worked on that, no perfection. I remember I worked with a mentor once in the corporate world, getting really burnt out. And my employer at the time set up this meeting for me, just to general high level management stuff. And she kept challenging me, going, what does it matter? Like, she's like, okay, give me some examples of some of the things that you do. And I was like, okay, so if that's not perfect, what does it matter? It's like, oh, well, it's not a good impression on the business. And what does it really matter? And she kept challenging me. And at the end of the day, it's like, you know what? She's right. And at the end of the day, we stress about stuff that we really shouldn't stress about. Like, we want things to be perfect, and who really cares? You could spend hours on a document making it look amazing, and it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. Some of you will want amazing live videos and you stress about everything being perfect, and yet people will resonate with your mess more than they do your perfection, because no one's perfect. And that's really important to remember, is that perfection is not real. And people don't resonate with perfection. People resonate with your mess more than they resonate with your perfection. So if you get on a live video and you have problems with sound and lighting, and you mix up your words, or the kids come in screaming into the room, or you drop something on the screen, or you forget what you were going to say, more people will actually relate to you and connect to you than if everything was perfect. So really, really important to remember. Okay. Sean, Richard Branson says, if you get an opportunity handed to you and you don't know how to do it, take the opportunity and learn how to do it later. I put up that quote yesterday or the day before on this very page, on my business page, about that. And I reckon that's amazing advice from Richard Branson. Just, jump in and do things. Life is just lessons. They're not failures. So not everything you do will work out well. But that's okay. It's a stepping stone to something that will work well for you. It's not failures. It's just lessons. Love it. Perfect. Haha. Good one, Sandy. Always run over and over my head. Overthink. Actually, can we change that to 4 habits instead of 3? Overthinking. How many of you overthink things and stress about things and worry about what somebody else is thinking about you or whatever, and they're probably not even thinking about you at all? Overthinking is also a killer. Lynn, I don't strive for perfection anymore, but boy, do I make up for it in procrastination department. So better at one, but not the other. I'm learning to take advantage of the 5-second window before my brain kicks in. Yeah. If you aren't making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. I love that, Judy and Bob. Well said. Thanks, Sean. We all start somewhere. Absolutely. Helen, I really needed to hear this today. I'm glad that this message resonates with you today, Edith. Yeah, Sean, and no one is going to save you but yourself. I could go on and on, reading your comments, but we just, if it is to be, it's up to me, but don't wait for perfection when it's up to you. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to grow your business for you. No one's going to make you happy. Just fail forward and stop being scared of the consequences. Like, you could be hit by a bus tomorrow. I mean, we don't want to think that, but you just never know. We spend way too much time procrastinating, overthinking things, being too scared to jump, do different things, and it could be one of the best decisions you ever made. Some of the best decisions you can make in your life are the hardest, and a lot of people avoid making those hard kind of decisions. So just think about that kind of stuff, guys, where you sit in all those 3 things, and I'll tack on overthinking at the end as well, because sometimes we need to clear our head of stuff that we keep stressing about, and it's just really stuff that you shouldn't stress about. I take my brain to a point of, when I'm really stressed about the little things, to a point of gratitude and thinking about other people that have a lot less than I do. And it brings me back to that place of gratitude. I'm so lucky to have a roof over my head, to have the family that I do, a husband that loves me, 2 amazing boys, food on the table. I can afford to buy shopping every week, food. Like, come back to what's important. So when you're overthinking about the little things, it's like, is it really important? Like, what am I really stressing about? And if it's not important, then let it go. And remember the important things. You're alive. You're alive. Today is a new day. Okay? So, yeah, sometimes, Edith, what does it really matter? What you fill your brain with and what you're overthinking about, or, the perfection piece of it. Like, what does it really matter? So I will leave you with that. I hope that was very thought-provoking for you today, guys. You take something away from that and reevaluate maybe where you're at with procrastination and perfection and, waiting and overthinking as well. We'll take that one in at the end, okay? So thank you for being here with me, guys. Thank you for all your – Sean, you just had to throw that in there, didn't you? You do you, boo. I was thinking about that the other day. For those of you that are unaware, I think on one particular topic I was saying, just be you. Don't be somebody that you're not. Like, you'd never see me say, you do boo you, or you do you boo, because it's just not something that I would say. Just be you on live video and stuff like that. Thanks for reminding me, Sean. Anyway, I'm going to go on that note. Hope this was beneficial for you, and I will look forward to seeing you same time, same place tomorrow, guys. Catch you then, crew. Bye.